that reflects our collective experiences, hopes, and dreams. We have expressed our views on pressing issues affecting children across the nation. It has been inspiring to see young minds come together, exchange ideas, and proposing solutions to the challenges they face. Our call to action outlines several key priorities, aligned with our theme, investment, accountability, and participation for every child. Today's dialogue is a special opportunity for us to come together, share to learn about the progress made since the first special MANSA KUNDA, and to hear from our honorable ministers about the actions taken in response, what more can be done to make life better for every child in the Gambia. As children, we know that rights comes with responsibilities. So we are promising to work hard in school, use our voices positively, promote peace and respect, support one another, and contribute to making our homes, schools, and communities safer and better places for all children. Together, we can be part of the change we want to see in our country. Honorable Ministers, distinguished guests, the future of the Gambia starts with us. The children are stronger and better for everyone. Let us make Special MANSA KUNDA 2026 more than just a conversation. Let it be a day when children's voices are listened to, valued, and turned into real action that improve our lives. Together, has the opportunity to learn, grow, dream, and succeed. Thank you all.
Now,
my colleague ministers here present, honorable members of the National Assembly, the UN Resident Coordinator, UNICEF representative to the Gambia, who doesn't respond negatively to any request from the government. Thank you very much. Other UN representatives here present, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Staff, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare and Staff, the Chief Medical Director at the Francis Small Teaching Hospital, members of the Diplomatic Corps, development partners, CSUs, our dear children, the media, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank again all the ministers present here today. This last light turnover of ministers in this meeting is a clear indication of government's commitment to the welfare of children in the Gambia. Human Rights Commission. And a big thank you goes to our colleague, Minister of Information and Broadcasting and Media, for organizing this event and also for the initiative. Last year we were here at his invitation, and today we are here again, and we look forward to more and more of such MANSA KUNDAs for the children. Yesterday we were together with the Children's National Assembly, and that has continued today to the MANSA KUNDA of the children, where we have the interface. We as a government have the interface with the children of the Gambia. It is an honor to address this important intergenerational dialogue, which reaffirms our shared responsibility to protect and empower every child in the Gambia. Today's gathering reminds us that child protection is not the responsibility of a single institution. It is a national obligation that demands collective action from government at the foundation of our nation's future. Yet, many continue to face serious threats, including violence, abuse, exploitation, child marriage, trafficking, harmful traditional practices, and emerging risks such as online abuse and climate-related vulnerabilities. These challenges require urgent, coordinated, and sustained action. The government of the Gambia, under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, remains fully committed to ensuring that child protection is central to our national development agenda. Through the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with key stakeholders, we have made significant progress. This includes strengthening legal and policy frameworks, expanding social welfare services, improving case management systems, and enhancing community-based child protection structures. We have also intensified efforts to eliminate female genital mutilation and child marriage through advocacy, enforcement, social and behavior change initiatives, and cross-border collaboration. Support systems for survivors of gender-based violence have been strengthened through counseling centers and empowerment services. And as we are speaking, work on a specialized court on gender-based violence is at a very advanced stage. By the middle of September this year, we plan to do the official inauguration. In 2026, government allocated dedicated funding to key protection mechanisms, including the Victim Support Fund, the Children's Fund, and the Disability Fund, reinforcing our commitment to vulnerable populations. These efforts are supported by strong partnerships with development partners, particularly UNICEF and UNFPA, as well as civil society organizations and community actors. Together, we are driving awareness, challenging harmful norms and practices, and strengthening national systems. However, significant challenges still remain. Harmful practices persist, and the culture of silence continues to prevent children from speaking out. We must therefore deepen our efforts and strengthen accountability systems across all levels. The chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, our protection systems require a whole of government and whole of society approach. Partnerships are essential to building a system where children are protected not only by our laws, but by families, communities, and institutions working together. You will all recall, on July 11th last year, Gambia signed the UN Convention on Violence Against Children, Women and Children. We are the sixth country to sign this international convention. And I'm happy to announce that this year, Gambia ratified, and we are the first country in Africa to submit the instruments of ratification of this convention. For us, signing and ratifying is just rubber stamping. We have done a lot of work, and more work still needs to be done. And I have no doubt the government and the people of the Gambia are steadfast to move this action forward. We will leave no stone unturned to protect the women and girls of the Gambia. And the credit goes to President Adama Barrow for making the environment conducive and for giving us all the support. And we want to thank him very much for everything that he's doing for the children and women of the Gambia. I wish to commend the Children's National to be active partners in shaping policies and decisions that affect their lives. As we move forward, our priorities must be clear. Strengthening enforcement of child protection laws and accountability systems and mechanisms. Increase investment in education, health, nutrition, social protection and services, and child-focused services. Expand community-based prevention and behavior change initiatives. Invest in professional social services and frontline workers. Enhance coordination across government, partners, and communities. Promote safe and responsible use of technology to protect children in digital spaces. These are practical actions that will deliver real improvements in the lives of our children. The chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, children of the Gambia, protecting children is not an act of charity. It is an obligation granted on our Constitution and international instruments and commitments. It is also an investment in national peace, stability, and sustained development. Our vision remains clear: a Gambia where every child is safe, protected, educated, and empowered to reach their full potential. In conclusion, let this dialogue mark a renewed commitment that no child in the Gambia will be left unprotected, unheard, or left behind. Together, let us strengthen our resolve, deepen our commitment and partnership, and accelerate action for children. Together, we can build a future where every child grows up in dignity, opportunity, and hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to the mother of every child in the Gambia. Thank you so much. Now I would love to welcome the Honorable Minister of Information.
Good morning. Me struggling to find a little space for my iPad shows how far we've gone in press freedom in this country. There was a period when events like this, we'll have only one mic, only this one. But now, in fact, today it's moderate. We have only about 5 or 6. Normally we have 25, 30. And we struggle to even place our papers. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Honorable Fatu Kinde, and other cabinet ministers present here today. Permanent Secretary, Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, the United Nations Resident Coordinator, Carl Frederick Paul, the UNICEF Resident Representative, Nafisa bin Shafiq, my sister, and other representatives of other UN agencies or heads of other UN agencies and representatives, our development partners and members of the diplomatic corps, Teaching Hospital, representing the Minister of Health. Good morning, sir. The chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission also is present. Good morning. The Honorable Speaker of the Chilean National Assembly and members of the same assembly, our young people, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today we are not only gathered here for another government program. We are gathered here because the children's voice matters. We are gathered here because the children of the Gambia are not of this country. They are citizens of today, but they are leaders of tomorrow. And most importantly, we are gathered because when we speak, when children speak, government must listen. This is the second edition of the special MANSA KUNDA dedicated to children and adolescents, organized by the Information Ministry in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender and Unity. We started on the 30th of August 2025, when children sat across the table from 9 cabinet ministers and asked questions, raised concerns, shared experiences, and presented recommendations on the issues that matter most to them. That first intergenerational dialogue was significant, but today we are taking the conversation one step. It's not meaningful participation. So this gathering is not only about asking children what they think, it is also about asking ourselves as a government, what have we done since they spoke to us? What have we done since they spoke to us from last year? What commitments did we make? Have we fallen short? And perhaps most importantly, what are we going to do next? That is the spirit of today's MANSA KUNDA program. Distinguished ministers, the children before us here come with questions, and they have also come with expectations, but also they come with recommendations. We must therefore approach this engagement with an open mind and resist the temptation to speak at children. Today, we must speak with them. Let us not underestimate the depth of their understanding of some of the challenges they face, because they understand the dangers of child marriage. They understand the dangers of abuse and bullying in schools and at homes. But they understand the negative impact of exploitation and gender-based violence. They understand the opportunities and perhaps the risks created by the digital, and they have ideas about how we can better build this country. Their experiences are lived experiences. My younger brothers and sisters, today is your platform. Do not be afraid to ask difficult questions. And do not be afraid to challenge us. Do not be afraid to tell us why you think government can do better. That is why the Children's National Assembly of the Gambia is so important. Now, your position paper submitted to government represents more than a document. It represents the hopes, concerns, and aspirations of generations to come. And our responsibility as a government is to ensure that those recommendations do not remain on paper. They must inform policy. They must influence programs. They must also reflect in our budgets. And where resources permit, we must translate into concrete action in communities across the country. Distinguished colleagues, the recommendations from the first special MANSA KUNDA were very clear. Children call for continued investment in quality education. I'm happy the minister responsible for education is here. And they want this investment to be done particularly for girls and children in rural communities. They call for stronger protection against child marriage, gender-based violence, abuse, and exploitation. They call for better healthcare, mental health support, and nutrition. They call for greater digital inclusion and safer online spaces. And they call for something fundamental. What is that? Meaningful participation in decisions that affect their lives. These priorities deserve attainment in the future strength, stability, and prosperity of our country. Every child who stays in school is an investment. Every girl protected from child marriage is an investment. Every child who receives proper health care and nutrition is an investment. Every young person equipped with digital skills is an investment. Every child whose voice is heard and respected is an investment in our democracy. The government of the Republic of the Gambia, under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, places children at the heart of its national development agenda, with a strong focus on education, healthcare, protection, nutrition, social welfare, and meaningful participation in national affairs. Through investments in quality education, child and maternal health, social protection programs, and initiatives that safeguard children from violence, abuse, and exploitation, the government is working to ensure that every Gambian child has the opportunity to grow, learn, thrive, and contribute meaningfully to the country's future. In fact, dare I say that this government should be called the education. Every policy we make, every legislation we promote takes into account how it will affect future generations and their welfare. Ladies and gentlemen, Our commitment to children is also grounded in our national, regional, and international obligations. The Gambia has committed itself to the principles of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, the Children's Act 2005, and the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child. But laws and international commitments are a policy document. A child experience is a classroom. A child experience is a hospital. A child experience is a home. A child experience is a community. A child experience is the internet. And therefore, our success must ultimately be measured by the quality of life and opportunities available to the child in those spaces. Ministers and young people, the beauty of MANSA KUNDA is that it brings government and citizens together in one space. It creates an opportunity for direct conversation. It promotes transparency. It strengthens accountability. And today, it allows us to bring that principle directly into the relationship between government and the children of the Gambia. My young friends, one day many of you sitting here will become ministers. One of you will succeed, Honorable Drame. One of you will become the next, perhaps very soon, Environment Minister, Public Service Minister, but also teachers, a very noble profession, engineers, farmers, journalists. The Gambia you inherit will depend greatly on the decisions we make today. So ask your questions, tell your concerns, and share your ideas, and challenge us to build our country where every child, whether boy or girl, whether from the urban or rural area, has the opportunity to dream, to learn, to be protected, and to succeed. Distinguished guests, as Minister responsible for information, media, and broadcasting services, I believe strongly that communities must also listen to citizens. And that is why MANSA KUNDA matters. It gives us a platform where the conversation is not government speaking to the people. It is government speaking with the people. Today, that conversation belongs to our children. Their voices belong in our national conversation. Their ideas belong in our development plans. Their priorities belong in regional dialogue, therefore mark not just another conversation, but a renewed commitment to listen, to respond, and to report back. Because when children speak, I repeat, government must listen. And when government listens, government must act. On that note, I thank honorable ministers who are here today. I know it's Saturday, we are going on tour. I really appreciate your support and your solidarity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Information. I'm right here. I will be the next Information Minister, inshallah. Okay, let's give a round of applause to my panelists. Another big round of applause for the Speaker of the Children's Assembly. Another big round of applause for him. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Now we will have a musical interlude. Yeah.
E R E